Hello. Hello. Well, I was sitting here at my desk here in Avalon and thinking, and just write you a little note about what's been going on. And I thought, why don't I just pop on a video and say, hello, how you getting on? And here we are on at the beginning of the next phase of stepping out of our homes more and stepping into what we'd like to be our regular behavior of being able to see our friends and being able to shop and all of that kind of stuff. And a whole year on now after the first lockdown, and where are we now and how is it feeling? And early this morning I went out, early for me. I went out about 8 o'clock and took my car down to get it serviced. And I'm lucky here in Langport because I live by the river, and the sun was up. The sun was streaming in. The air was so fresh, and the birds were about doing their birdie business. And I was walking back along the river, and just so grateful for the taking in the deep breaths of air that I can in this gorgeous countryside. And it got me to thinking, like, have we all been trained now to almost like hold our breath? And how it's just, that's not very good for our health. I mean, you know this, right? But when we restrict our breathing, we all sorts of physiological anomalies start to occur. Like, there's a lot of residual air left in the bottom of the lungs that doesn't get shifted, and we don't feel free to breathe. And when we don't feel free to breathe, that can shut down parts of how we are free to think. And I do remember that when I used to live in London and I used to travel down, I remember at one particular time traveling down the train, coming down to Brockenhurst in the New Forest. And as soon as I opened the train door and I got a blast of that forest air, I took the biggest breath. It was like inviting me to take a deep breath. And I thought, have I been holding my breath the whole time I've been in London? I mean, obviously not holding, I was still breathing, but very light breathing. Like, there's this fear of breathing. What do you think? Where are you with that? Does that resonate at all? And if so, how can we reestablish, reconnect our relationship with our breath that is healthy and mindful? And when we're outside in nature, surely that has got to be the place that we can safely breathe big lungfuls of air and trust the energy of the beach or the trees to be there for us in our abundance, in its abundance, and that will resonate with our abundance. So yeah, I understand that we do need to be considerate of others and considerate of the situation that we're in, of course, but let's look at where we might be still holding on to the fear of breathing deeply because of what we've been trained to do over the past year. And I know we're all in different boats and we've got different thoughts about it all, but just that reconnection with your relationship with how you breathe. And it is the topic that we're looking at in the ongoing 7-week course at the moment, the Qigong breath work. But that comes into all Qigong. It comes into all aspects of our life, for goodness sake, because without breathing, none of us would be here. I know, simple statement, but it's true. And there's a piece of magic that I would just like to finish on, and that is the word inspiration. Yeah, you know where I'm going with this, don't you? Exactly. So when we let ourselves be breathed by the air, I love that idea that we are breathed by the element of the air, and that we have this inspiration, we are inspired. It's like we're breathing in our spirit to our physicality. And with that comes sparkles of intuition or things we hadn't thought of in our intellectual mind. They become, little moments of like, they come with this clarity, this freshness of the breath that inspires the mind and the soul and the body too. So let's do a little quickie. I just had a thought to share something with you now. So this is all an experiment. Let's see how it goes. If you like me doing little lives like this, let me know on reply. I'm happy to drop in weekly and bring you some Qiful magic into your life, all being well. So if we get into this idea of inspiration and breath, so just where you're sitting or maybe you're standing or walking along, just aware of your breathing process, aware of the rhythm of your breath, And you're watching the air gliding in and out, in and out of your body in this smooth, calm way that it does. Left to its own business, you see, the breath will just carry on. But it is the only system in the body that can also be altered by our mind. So it's sympathetic and parasympathetic. You can get both of these sides of our neurology working together through the breath, which is why breath work is such an important tool to play with. And I say play because from the Qigong perspective, we work with the naturalness of the breath and we notice things about the breath. And in some pranayamas, you're working specifically with like different nostrils, different rhythms, and that has huge benefit as well. Different approach. So with the Qi approach, you're noticing the breath gliding in and out of your body. And just as you're doing that, notice where you're standing or walking or sitting on the earth, though you are planted into the Great Mother. And the connection that you have with the air all around you, it's same for us all. It surrounds us all. So it's all around you. So being aware of the air all around you and that you are being breathed by the air. So the air comes in and out of your body. You receive what was outside, inside. It's an intimate thing. It does a little party in there, does its thing with the, oxygen and carbon dioxide. I say it's a party. It's probably the nearest thing that oxygen and carbon dioxide get to do in a body. But it does it, it's doing an important physiological process. And then you breathe it out. It's a beautiful track, actually, by the beautiful chorus called, Breathe it in, breathe it out. I might actually give you a little link to that. And just as you're noticing the rhythm of your breath, breathing in and out, notice that in between the in-breath and the out-breath, there's a pause. And notice at the end of the out-breath, before the in-breath, there is also a pause. So you're noticing these transition places between the in and the out that happen all the time, but we don't often notice them. So when you notice them, just notice how you feel in either the pause at the top of the breath or the pause at the bottom of the breath. Because I've got a sneaking suspicion that these are places of balance. That when you've breathed in that much, you're waiting. And then the blood chemistry tells you to breathe out. And then you wait. So it's all linked. It's all very clever. But that place at the end of your out-breath, when you pause and you wait, that's a real magic zone. So enjoy that. Let me know how it goes for you. What happens in the magic zone at the end of your out-breath? Let me know on reply or however you want. Cheeky Temple, you know where I am. In there, love to carry on conversations and encourage you to be truly you all the way through. And on that note, much love and chi from me in Avalon.